that dude, it's just to see what he brought to the table in reference of, because one thing about it, King, I think when we look at a lot of our favorite black actors and actresses, that, really, really depict the African American experience on cinema, we look at, giants, like Lawrence Fishburne, John Amos, Gabrielle Union, Cicely Tyson, Ossie Davis, Diane Carroll, and John is right up there with all of them because, when you're dealing with movies like Friday was not only a hilariously entertaining entertainment endeavor from Ice Cube and company, but it also really was something that was relatable. And I think that drives the point home in terms of why his presence was so valued, it was so cherished, it was so honored, it was so revered. And I don't know, dog. I really don't know. I just don't know if Cube can do it without him. I really don't know.
I doubt it. And be honest with you, I would just leave it alone, man. I just let the series be the series. Like, leave it like it was because clearly nobody has no interest in really doing it anyway because he's been trying to get Chris Tucker to do it for about 20 years, and he's in his own lane, and so are these other comedians. So sometimes it's just best to let things just be the past. So we dedicate this show in the memory of John Witherspoon. It's only right. And may he rest in peace, and we send our condolences out to his family, his friends, loved ones, the whole nine.
Definitely.
And turning things back full gear, we're going to introduce our first guest of the night. This lady here, let me tell you something. She's killing it out here in Raleigh right now, man. I mean, it's to a point where I have to talk to her assistant to get to her assistant because she's getting big out here, damn it. She going to get me when she get on the air. So, without further ado, let's welcome one of the hardest working women in this business right now, Miss Irresistible, y'all.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's up?
I had to talk to your Jewish sisters to get to you.
Man, listen, he is definitely always reaching out. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't care what I got going on. I'm going to hear from him.
Tell you, we go back some years. We go back like 2013, 14, when you was first doing the modeling thing.
Yeah, when I was doing the modeling, the calendar, and I still got some stuff that I'm a whip up with that. But right now, I'm just kind of focusing more on my merchandise. I got a lot more people that are wanting merchandise and my face and my logo, and it's moving faster than what I thought. I started dropping my music the beginning of this year. As far as jumping back into this game, and it's taking off like crazy. So I'm surprised. I'm blessed. I'm happy, but I'm also surprised.
Now tell me about this here. Now you took a hiatus from the game, and you come back with two songs that's currently burning up the rotation. Like, did you expect that?
No, I didn't. When I first was dropping the music, actually when I first did it, I was kind of debating on which one to put out, what the audience wants to hear, and when you're doing the music, everybody has the answer. Everybody has the answer on what you should put out and what the people want to hear, but really nobody knows what people want to hear because people are different, people are unique. So you take a chance. It's taking a chance, and I didn't expect it to just take off the way it did. And for people to really, really reach out, like, they hit me up like crazy. I mean, these people I never knew, states I've never been in. Where can I get your music? How can I listen to it? Like, and it's bananas when people ask me to perform. Now they book me. Now they pay me to perform. So it's crazy because they tell you which song they want you to perform. You know, and when you perform it, you just go all out.
Definitely, definitely. Ms. Irresistible, T-Max, great to have you back with us once again, you know, and definitely, you know, you are, you know, as King said, making a lot of moves in terms of, you know, definitely expanding your brand, you know, coming for Cardi B's spot, because we know you got, the same way she toppled Nicki, you shall topple Cardi in terms of having that next wave. So, you know, we know this. We know this. So
T-Man's trying to create that competitive rift.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy that he say that because if I could really go through my inbox and some family messages and everybody's like, yo, you got Cardi, you got this. I'm gonna be honest, I like Cardi, man. I rock with her right now. I think Megan kind of jumping on into Cardi's ways. So, you know, I'm more just like I'm just kind of waiting my wave to come in, and I'm just going to flash everybody with it, you know.
Yeah, and all jokes aside, you know what I'm saying, your talent is already spoke for itself in terms of the type of celebrity that you've so, you know, rightfully garnered in terms of your entertainment endeavors. And I think in terms of what the game is, I think a lot of times that competition between women is a mass media induced type of phenomenon that I don't think is necessary, because I really think at the end of the day, anyone who has talent can stand on their own merits, whether male or female.
Right.
I don't believe this is a situation where, you know, I think the situation, if I really want to, you know, put it out there, of course, just from a journalistic perspective, I think the situation between Cardi and Nicki was a situation where Cardi, you know, just basically came in a spot where Nicki wasn't ready to relinquish. But the reality was, and this is only because the numbers, you know, speak for themselves, you know, that Nicki's last couple of albums didn't do so well. But then you have this hot new phenomenon who came in terms of a raw, unabashed, candid type of personality, which Cardi is, because I love the bitch. I mean, she is just the embodiment. Yeah, she is just the embodiment of real.
You know what?
And she owns everything about herself.
And this is what people fail to realize too, man. Like, you also got to have the personality to open up those doors, because that's what made those doors open up for her.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta have that personality. I mean, and her personality from what is that? The reality series, and when she was on the reality shows and stuff. I remember when I wish my brother was around right now. I remember when my brother would come to me and be like, nobody likes her, she's gonna blow. And I'm not really into watching a whole bunch of TV and all that crazy drama and stuff, but you know, he kind of tuned me into her, and I seen briefly what she was doing, and I had heard a little stuff she was doing on the reality show. She was in the studio, and you know, people get on Facebook, oh, she garbage, she trying to rap, she's whack, and then she come out with Bodak and take the world by surprise. I was like, what?
But you know, it's crazy because, you know, one thing about it is that, you know, Cardi has been called so many things, you know, in terms of it. But one thing you cannot call her ever is a quitter, because for everything she had went through, the obstacles she had to encounter, she always believed in herself, you know, and even if she never makes another album, you know, this girl has already got herself into, you know, the pop culture phenomenon where she's good on her personality alone. I mean, she just got her new movie out. You know, I mean, she's a celebrity that has really, really caught the mainstream attention. You know, and I mean, you know, you know, but she's got a bright future ahead of her. I just hope that, you know, like a lot of celebrity, you know, like you know, in the game of how, unfortunately, how some celebrities can get engulfed by their fame. You know, I would pray, you know, not so much big-headed, you know, King and Irresistible, not so much being big-headed, but just the fact of, when it's just so much because it's that overload, it becomes that, people really, and for you, Ms. Irresistible, you know how it is now because you're in a situation where your fame is, is really, really steadily rising like, temperatures in the Sahara. You're about to put a heat wave down on the game. You know what I'm saying? And and people really people really don't understand, though, in terms of what it means to really, really, like, once that fame hits you, it's like, it can be suffocating. It can be overwhelming. And I'm just hoping Cardi, or any, Megan or any of, any young, boy or girl coming up in the game, man. I don't want to see that celebrity take them under where it becomes too much for them.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, and I'm glad that you said that because I look at a lot of people that was doing their thing, and then you see them now, and nobody's really paying them attention. And my thing is, it's everybody's moment. My thing is grasp everything you can in the moment. Cardi is grasping everything. I salute her 100%, especially with her doing the movies, because I'm like, listen, she made something to fall back on. Smart. That was like the smartest thing to be. And listen, to go from music to Hollywood, you can't lose. I said, she's winning all the way around, no matter what they say about who's coming into the rap game, who's taking her spot. She's in Hollywood. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's some major moves that she's making that a lot of artists are not doing. And I'm like, I really, really salute her on that.
Yeah. And, the one thing about Hollywood, too, when you make that move into it, and I would tell any artist out there, because a lot of people, because, once you get in there, some people get engulfed with that celebrity lottery and they want to try to splurge it in terms of that collateral of exposure on everything. But my thing is no, because what you have is a situation where as you segue into other avenues of entertainment, one thing about it, and we're all movie buffs, one thing about it is I would tell any artist who's transitioning, trying to do film, make sure that you pick the roles that are good and make sure it's something that can really showcase your thespian abilities.
Right, smart.
Look at what happened to Lil Yachty and Young Thug trying to do How High 2. How the fuck are you going to do a How High movie without Meth and Red?
Oh, God. Yeah, that was crazy.
Shout out to Meth and Red, though, because when I saw them in concert a couple years ago, Meth spoke at the concert, and he said basically the contract's already been signed, and he gets paid whether he's in it or not. So shout out to them because their business was in order. I was like,
Meth and Red, like you can't. That movie is some movies you can't redo. You just that's like telling them to redo Boys in the Hood. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Look, King, remember when I was telling you a while back about how the situation, and thank God to the movie gods that it never happened. They were actually thinking about remaking Juice with Soulja Boy in it, and they were going to put it in Atlanta. They were, Well, and the thing is, in a situation like that, Ms., is that, when you're having, this is the one thing artists, this is the one thing about it that rappers have to understand from a perspective, being black is one thing, and there's already a stigma attached to being African American. It's also attached as a stigma when you're coming from a profession to another, and people are wondering, because a lot of, there's always what people look at as an intrinsic, but not always a correct link, between, rappers and a certain attitude, and the fact is that that's not always an intrinsic link. Everybody is their own individual. And I mean, we've seen such legends as Ice-T, Ice Cube, Queen Latifah, all of them, Will Smith, and they've all transitioned, LL Cool J, they've all transitioned seamlessly into the acting realm where they are now A-listers. And, for a lot of young artists, young artists coming in, the main thing is you want to show these people that, yes, you were serious. With O'Shea Jackson Jr., for the NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton, he actually had to take acting classes for, I believe, 2 or 3 years. And he had to audition for it. Yeah, his daddy told him, look, I'm behind you all the way with it, but you're going to have to show me that you can do this.
Yeah,
but
right.
You said what now?
I said, yeah, it's like if you're going to do it, do it right,
Yeah, and he did his thing, and of course, that other movie with 50 Cent he was in. It's failing me the title right now, but about the robbery. It's about the robbery movie. I mean, he did that too. I mean, so the boys, Cube Jr. doing his thing. So in terms,
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking to doing a little bit of that. I come from a family of laughter and just everybody.
Den of Thieves, that's what it's called. It just hit me. Den of Thieves, that's what it was. Go ahead.
He said he was gonna get the name of that movie.
Yeah, it just hit me. Yeah, go ahead.
But I said, in the long run, I want to look at a few things. Probably into acting and things like that. But right now, I'm more focused on just making sure, like, I get my music out there. So I have some other stuff that I'm working on and things like that. I have a few other songs I'm working on and just mainly pushing that because it's a lot of talent, honestly, in North Carolina. And so everybody is trying to get themselves out there because it's a lot of females, I want to say that first and foremost, that are really, really talented in Raleigh. And, a lot of females get overlooked. And the crazy thing is, it's not that nobody is supporting that particular female or female. It's that people have to understand that people have an inquiring ear. They're going to listen to what they want to listen to. No matter how beautiful you are, no matter how, fly your body is, like, people are going to listen to what they want to listen to. And, like, he was saying earlier, it's your personality. Your personality has to match what you're saying. If you're really I don't give a type of person, then you need to be like that for real, because they don't want to see somebody rapping and you over here talking about, chicks know what time it is if they pull up, but then when the chicks pull up, you scary. Okay, that's already, your credibility is gone. No one believes you.
And that's
back,
real.
Y'all. What did I miss out on when y'all was chopping it up?
Oh yeah, man, we were just talking. Yeah, we were just talking about the movies. About how a lot of artists have transitioned. And from their, from being rapping, to movies, and how you just have to maintain a level of professionalism in terms of, how the perceptions of producers and directors may be. In terms of taking the craft seriously as you expand.
Right.
There's this.
Build on that segue right there. This is the follow-up question that I want to ask Irresistible right here. Like, about the top 50 NC list that's been going on, the underrated list. A lot of people been in their feelings about that.
Oh man, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I was tagged in it. I see a whole bunch of stuff. I see a whole lot of stuff float around, the internet, Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. And I don't really get too involved, but somebody tagged me in it, and it was another artist. She my people. We actually linked up. We was auditioning and some more stuff, and her artist name is Boss Lady, and she doing her thing. She really is doing her thing out here. She's a hard worker, man. I give it to her. Her and my people's Madam Trauma. Those ladies is really putting their foot in necks right now, literally. But when she tagged me in it, I seen it. I went through the names, and I kind of it was some people that kind of felt some type of way. I personally didn't feel no type of way because first and foremost, like I left a comment on there, and what I stated was majority of them, first and foremost, is rapping hood music, and I ain't seen them a day in the hood ever in my life. So they're marked off the list. They had a few female names that they don't hold no weight. I'm not disrespecting anybody or their music or their title or their credibility, but Raleigh isn't that big. So if I ain't never seen you in the hood and you ain't never came to none of our liquor houses, I don't care what you rapping about. You're lying. That's just how I feel about it. So I just looked at the list and laughed at it and kept it moving because you got a lot of people that has people that's kind of like in their corner, but for majority of people, you got to understand, you got a lot of people that's making moves without an entourage. I mean, like myself. So if I'm looking at somebody else and their name is on a list, but they got a whole group behind them, and you ain't playing on the radio, and ain't nobody rocking to your music, well, you're garbage to me, for real, for real. I mean, that's how I look at it. I don't care who put your name on the list and what you doing in another state. If I don't hear you, period, nowhere else, then it doesn't matter. I can't quote anybody's song on that list that I heard. Literally no one. Maybe, no, I'm lying. Maybe like two. But everybody else, I was just like, oh, okay. But, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And an opinion is like an asshole. Everybody got one. You get what I'm saying? Everybody has one. So, let them speak. Let them get it out. But a lot of the people, you got to understand, they're not relevant either. So you get a lot of people that's really not into the music game for real. So they're only giving out names that they are people they're cool with. You know how it goes.
Yeah, you see the guys that they ain't really had a hit record since the MySpace era. You see them dudes up there.
Listen, I looked at that list and I just laughed. I was about to untag myself, but I said, nah. I just went ahead and blocked the little notifications because it was corny. And then some people was in their feelings, but I feel like if you're a good artist and you're putting out good music, then you shouldn't worry about being on the top 50 list. All you need to worry about is performing at the BET and doing your thing. Like everybody's mindset is on captivating North Carolina. They want to captivate. They want to be in the center of Raleigh. But really, I mean Raleigh. Why wouldn't you want to be the top 50 in the world as far as the artist? Why you caring about being a top 50 in Raleigh? Those are little-minded. You're thinking little-minded. Like, you got to think outside the box. I'm trying to take over. I don't care about just being in Raleigh. I'm coming for everything. Everything. Whatever you rapping about, I'm going to top that. So, I mean, because I'm going to top it with the truth. They rapping about a bunch of nothing. So, let's go.
And you know what? If you being a female in this male-dominated businesses, like what are some of like the main challenges you had to deal with?
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. The main challenges is everybody try to play. Everybody has an agenda. Okay, nobody is really honest. Nobody is loyal. This is a savage industry. You have to really, if I say it like this, if you're not from the street, then don't jump into this. Or if you don't have somebody that has a lot of knowledge, even if it's not from the streets, maybe good book knowledge, then don't jump into this industry because you have to have a thick wool coat on for this kind of stuff because people will hurt your feelings. You got people that'll tell you certain things because maybe they're saluting or trying to push out another artist. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to really, really broadcast your music, or they don't want to get you on to perform because they want their artist to perform. Or you got people who don't want to drop your music because they want to drop somebody else's music. I have ran into so much stuff between getting my music done, getting my music out, like getting my music played, that I have no other choice but to win. If people really knew the obstacles I was really, really jumping over, they'll understand why I'm winning the way I'm winning. And it's not because I'm arrogant. It's because God has placed it that way, and it's going to be. So I just keep going with the flow and keep doing what I do.
And that's real, what you're saying, as the great Snoop Dogg said, realer than real deal Holyfield, because, we got to touch on some bullet points in terms of what you said. One thing about it is that coming from a small town, and especially, from my side, in Virginia, Hampton Roads side, I echo everything you say, like y'all come from Raleigh-Durham area, and the one thing about it is that a lot of artists, this is the one problem a lot of artists have coming into the game, because everybody wants to have the attitude, but they don't have the accolades and the achievements that are supposed to accompany a certain level. And even then, your attitude should never supersede, your humility. And,
right.
Straight up, a lot of artists, and this goes from a lot of places because, shout out to the Source and Double XL, who profile a lot of artists who actually got a buzz. Shout out, to, this, allhiphop.com, Hip Hop DX, the Cypher, because when you get your music broadcast on those venues, on those outlets, that's showing that you actually are making noise in the game, that you're like you said, Miz, it's like you can't have a situation where, you're just big around a little area and you think that that's no, because the thing is, when you're looking at a panoramic view in terms of where your product has to go, that's where the profit comes in. If you in a small space, all you're going to get is pennies where the dollars, ain't, really coming. But you got a lot of artists that will swear up and down like, yo, son, I'm the biggest on my block. I'm like, where? I'm like, if you do a show here, I mean, I'm like, nigga, where are your features? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if you, it's like, if you do a show at a local venue, is it going to sell out? I mean, is your I'm about to say MySpace. Is your YouTube views popping? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is your Twitter jumping? I mean, what's your Facebook fan page like? I mean, do you have like?
Too, what too? Even these guys, they have a popping Instagram. The question is, can it translate into a fan base? Because you're seeing a lot of people, they have about millions of followers. But as soon as they drop a project, they probably get like, 20,000 downloads. They got 8 million fans. That's not good.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I've noticed a lot with a lot of these followers and a lot of these fan pages, and I get a lot of people hitting me up. And it's crazy because I see a lot of people, and they'll have like 24 posts or 100 and something posts with 15.k followers, 324k followers. They only following such and such. All these okay, yeah. So I'm already. Everybody's not a fraud. I understand that everybody's not a fraud, but majority of them are frauds. Because first and foremost, there's no way in the world. Okay, half of y'all are not really having all these followers like y'all say y'all have it. I'm just giving it to you hands down, because if y'all are having all these followers like you say you haven't, then you wouldn't be running down my DM asking for a feature. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're asking, but you popping. You supposed to be more popping than me. So I look at stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. It makes me feel good that you want me to be a feature. But if you want me to do some featuring on your stuff, then obviously you feel like I'm popping. You want to have two popping people in the video, and that's great. And you want them to be on your song, and that's cool. But a lot of times, it's I don't reach out to a lot of people until I build up my stuff. Like when you say Twitter, I just did a Twitter. So I don't really even go on Twitter like that. YouTube, I don't know what's going on with my YouTube. But my sister, she's in Cali, and she's been trying to get my YouTube together. It's for some reason it keeps popping up under my real name instead of my artist name. But it's crazy because what my sister told me? It's bananas, because I tell people go on the Irresistible before I realized it was a problem. And people were so determined to listen to my music, they were still putting in my real name to find my music. These are people I don't know. So
that's some true dedication there.
Hey, listen, I was just about to say, so just when I get YouTube right now is working on my page name to get my page under my artist name. So once that happens, imagine how that's going to take off. Now, these is people that found me under my real name by being determined. So once it gets fixed, it's going to take off like it's nobody's business. Why? Because they're not going to have to look hard for it now. So,
yeah,
you know, I post pictures every now and then. I get likes, but you know, I post pictures in my stories, and I think I just posted a picture I think yesterday or something. No, yesterday on my story, and I was in a bathing suit, and that already was like 15,000 views.
Oh, that thing took off like a firestorm.
Listen, you're looking at 15,000 views in my story, and I only got 7,000 followers on Instagram. You get what I'm saying? Them real followers, them people, that's how you got to push your stuff. People be looking at the followers, but I'm going to tell you what's popping. It's popping in your stories, because a lot of people don't want to be on your page liking pics, because they don't want people looking at they like the picture, so they going in your stories and they're following, they're screenshotting, they're saving it. You know, like it's popping in the stories, man.
Well, that's a good thing too. And a lot of people got to understand too, because Lord knows it be happening to me. You be getting them bots, you know, them bots and those, you know, those man. Look, them bots be, and that's what you were saying, you know, about how, because the thing is, to me, you know, we talked about this on the show a lot about how a lot of those profiles are not real. That, you know, but these people will just like, you know, just have, you know, like you said, you know, it'd be about 15,000 followers, but it's like, you know, it's one thing.
Yeah,
one thing
like,
I do when
you can tell what's a bot too, man. Like you see a guy from Pakistani, he got a Brazilian name, but he got blonde hair.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you just got people that'll just, you know, and you got some of these artists that'll just add on anybody just to make it look like they got all these people. They'll just randomly add anybody, or, you know, and it's like, you know, listen, you know, one thing about it is that there's no substitution for your music being out there, you know, and when you really got a name out there, you know, your music is going to sell itself, you know, in terms of, like you said, you had people going under your real name to find you, so that obviously means you've got some type of, you know, buzz. Look, sweetheart, you got more buzz than hornets going up against bees claiming, you know, claiming honeycomb sets, you know what I'm saying? And you putting a sting on them, know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you really got something good going, and
I'm really, you know, and the thing about it is, I'm not arrogant, I'm not conceited. You know, when people meet me, I don't know why, but a lot of people meet me and they think I'm stuck up, which is so weird, because I don't know. I think I have a really great open personality, so I'm kind of surprised that some people feel like that when they meet me, but when they do, they're like, "Oh, you mad cool, like you're really cool." But I've had a few artists. I know. Shouts out to Shane. Shane, he be doing his thing, and he's always hitting me up. You know, we always talk, you know, about the next big thing, what to do. But, you know, he hit me up and was like, "Yo, your name is buzzing." Like, I'm not going to lie. He's like, "I hear your name all the time." Like, to me, that's, like, good. Because, you know, I'm in Charlotte. So right now, I'm stepping my foot around Charlotte right now, doing a few things, opening up. I just opened up for Rah Digga, and that was great, man. That was, she's a really, really down to earth person. Yeah, that
Dirty
was
Harry.
Awesome. What?
Hey, you know the cold part, Irresistible, is, and you can vouch for this too. You can even screenshot it. Remember when you dropped the Coupe joint? I think it was waiting in the Coupe joint, and I told you straight up, you got one right here. And I ain't even saying that just to be on the coattail gravy train. Then come to find out, you also got the certified guys hit you up, like when Glasses Malone hit you up.
Oh yeah, Glasses Malone. Yeah, you're right. You know, and it's crazy because me and him, we've been talking since then, man. He was telling me about a lot of stuff he got going on, and he's a real West Coast dude, man. He really is. Like, I don't really, you know, meet him too much on the West Coast, but we was talking a couple of weeks ago, and I know he was, he's working on some stuff, and he was talking about getting his record label and all this good stuff. So, like, to top it up with him, he enlightens me on a lot of stuff that I need to, that a lot of people aren't willing to give that out without pain. They want to. It's a price to find out what you need to find out in this industry. And one thing I say about Glasses Malone is it's nothing for him to call me right now and be like, yo, have you done such and such? How you doing your marketing? And I take all that in and I suck it up. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Gemini. Sometimes I get restless at the mouth. He'll hang up on me. But for the most part, he's so understanding. Like, he'll call me back 4 days later. You all right? But
yeah, it's real though. And the Glasses, from his experience, when we had him on the show, and I knew a little bit about him, going in, I knew about him because I've been following Glasses for years. One thing about Glasses, his situation is that he had his deal at Sony back in the day, and for his album, and he signed it, I believe, for like $3 or $4 million, and then of course, he put out, the albums and such, and he recorded the album, but the trick was the album never got released. So this was what happened. Either he could keep the $4 million, or he could walk away with it, or he could give the money back and keep his album. And he chose to give the money back and keep his album. And, most artists, ask him about that story. Ask him about that story in terms of about his first record deal, and he'll tell you about what went down with it. But the situation was, is that, but he stood on his principles in terms of knowing that because he was already buzzing in Watts to begin with, so this is a dude who was a straight up, true blue, from Watts. So he already had established himself from a street reputation as well as music. So when you know that you believe in yourself and what you have, you're going to stand on principle of knowing that if it don't happen somewhere, it's going to happen somewhere. So he shout out to, Glasses, the general, and the left coast, and he's still, making moves. Now, speaking of West Coast, King opened up our show with, definitely a West Coast inspired song, that you did, and the shit was just, look, the joint hot like 6 foes with hydros, man, with the endo blow. Tell us about that and how'd you come up with that? Tell us the title of that and how'd you came up with it.
Oh man, the Coupe. So, that song actually, a lot of people in Raleigh know. The beat actually was made at Hazardous Records. D.Y. Nasty and E. Marlowe produced that beat, and they had the beat sitting, waiting, cooked up already, and I was kind of doing a little things in another studio. I was actually working on waiting, and I hit up D.Y. and I'm like, listen, I need to come to a studio. I need to get my song done. There's a whole lot of stuff going on at this studio. He's like, all right, well, come through, he gonna start recording. But when I got there, he was like, yo, I got this beat. He was like, let me know what you think. And I was like, okay, and I heard it. I said, yo, I like that beat. I like it. I said, I can do something to that. So he was like, okay. He was like, he was like, put on your flash drive, put something to it, come back in the studio, and let me hear what you got. I was like, all right, boom. Left out the studio in Raleigh, came back to Charlotte. By the end of the week, I was playing with it. Like, what kind of song? The beat is so crazy. You can throw anything on it. So I'm like, I've got in your city.
You can picture E40 on the remix. You can picture Snoop on the remix.
Oh man, look, that joint's so West Coast. Look, we always big up the West Coast. Shout out to AD. G Perico, Cam and China, Mozzie, man, it could be that Angela Donna, look, that young, that young California man, look, it'd be Carolina to California, man. Look, be from all the way.
Hey, let me tell you something. You can throw
the
Blueface on there. He won't mess it up.
You know what?
Man.
Oh it's so good. It's so good.
I had to throw that
out. No. I cannot
look, he yeah, man. Look, he knew he had to stay on beat with that one.
Yeah, he can't be coming all our beat and stuff now. You got to stay on beat with that one.
Now you probably got to straighten him out in the studio.
I said we gonna kick him out. So listen, you messing up everybody's nerves in here. Get gone. But doing that song was real fun. Doing that song was actually really cool. It was just, being in there with D.Y. Nasty and E. Marlo and them like, okay, like let's do this, let's do that. They was just letting me be me. They was letting me do all the yelling and, then when I finished, they kept the straight faces and it was time to mix and master. D.Y. Nasty mixed and mastered everything down. And when he was done, he was like, is this the way you want it? I listened to it one more time. I was like, yeah, let's go with it. I said, I like that. I said, and when he dropped, he waited a minute first. He wanted to see how hard I was going to push my own music. That's what I like about D.Y. Everybody got something to say about every DJ, about whatever producer, when things don't go their way. But I'm going to tell you something, you know what I'm saying? I live and I learn. And one thing I will say is D.Y. never told me he would play my record on his radio in Raleigh at Hot 97 because I got a beat from him. You get what I'm saying? He never told me. He was more like, listen, you got your music, da-da-da-da. He was like, yo, big up to you, what you do. And I was like, yo, I'm going to push it. I end up doing I dropped Waiting first, and everybody like Waiting. But I did the video to the Coupe. I switched the game up because everybody thought I was doing a video to Waiting, but I did the video to the Coupe because when I dropped the Coupe, people was feeling it, but I needed them to see the visual on how I'm feeling in the song, So when I dropped it, it just took off. I did not expect it to take off. It took off like pew. People want me to perform it. It took off so well that he hit me up after about a couple of months. It was like, yo, I want to go ahead and drop it on the radio. And then it just started getting crazier from there. And then that's it. It just it just keep going.
Yeah,
it's the Lord working in mysterious ways on how to get your music heard again, because it's crazy how you was out for like a couple of years and you just dropped out of sight, and now the movement is full swing.
Right.
Yeah, I was rapping with a lot of people think I'm new to this. And I just kind of laugh it off, and I don't say much. I'm laughing because a lot of people that know me, if you really from Raleigh, they already knew I was rapping. And you had your girl really making moves out here too back then, Shelly B. I don't know where she's at now, but big shouts out to her too because she was really, stepping on necks back then. She was really trying to take this to a whole nother level as far as female wise that I know of in NC. So. It was like, I was doing my little thing, but I was rapping within a group, that a lot of people knew of back then, called Nine Deuce, and it was a lot of us rapping, and I was doing my thing with them. But yeah, I kind of stopped rapping. I stopped, doing. I was kind of like, when you look at Raleigh, you kind of look at nothing because nobody was really, really coming through Raleigh. So you kind of look at it like, man, I'm gonna do something else. I'm not about to do this or whatever it is. You give Raleigh, it make you give them hopes on music. I'm trying to tell you. So I don't know what it was. I just was like, yo, when I seen Cardi, she was rapping, and it was almost like a portal. It was like an open portal, and it was just like, who's gonna go next? Then you got Megan. Megan came out of nowhere. She was doing some rapping, and she was rapping this and the same typical, twerking music, but it was like everybody wanted somebody new, so they're grabbing her and they're clinging to her. So it was like, but the portal is still open for somebody else. So it's like, well, listen, who gonna fall into the portal? Who's gonna put in the work to get there? Well, I'm like, I'll do it. So, but it's crazy because now that I'm actually putting in the work, the competition has turned up 1,000. Like, I'm talking about people that wasn't even rapping no more is rapping. This is crazy. It's crazy.
Now, you know what? As we about to, wrap this thing up, 'cause we got to bring our second guest on for the second hour. Now, do you have any projects that we can look forward to in the near future?
Yeah, I'm dropping my new song, everyone. It's called Loving You, and I just wanted to kind of push this more for the ladies, and it's a sexy song. I got a video. I just got a choreographer, and she's gonna get me right for the video, so it's gonna be real sexy, some nice dance moves and whatnot, and I'm gonna be dropping that real soon. So you can definitely look forward to that one because it'll definitely be the talk of the city.
Oh Lord, she about to drop it. She about to drop it like it's hot, like when Megan do her stage shows. I'm like, I seen Megan do a stage show. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, I'm having like a love affair in hip hop between her, like the singer her and Megan, and I'm just deciding I'll just settle for both of them at the same damn time. So it's like hip hop and R&B, just make it a happy threes company with both of them. So yeah.
With both of them. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I enjoyed y'all. I enjoyed tonight. The conversation was great. Just like last time, the conversation. I think we was on Nipsey last time. So it's crazy that we back up. Death usually begins our meetings and our talks and everything. But we at least they're great legends. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely honored to be on a show with. Starting off with a legend like that, just like Nipsey. So definitely big ups to y'all for that.
Well, we appreciate you as always, and thank you again for taking your time to join us.
Definitely. Well, look, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Shout out to everybody listening. Check me out on Instagram at Irresistible919. Remember, loving you. We'll be dropping soon.
Yeah.